Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kangaroo English. It is the 27th of December, so 2 days after Christmas. I look a little bit tired, a little bit haggard today because in the past 2 days there was lots of celebrations. Lots of drinking and eating and general celebrating. And because the school was closed, there was no heating, so it's very cold today in the school. So today in class I'm wearing my jacket. Anyway, my name is Christian. I am here to answer any of your questions about English, about grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, anything you want to ask me about English, I'm here for you. So yeah, welcome. If this is your first live class, welcome. We have some students from Brazil, from Slovakia, from Uzbekistan. Yes, I remember you. Some students from Vietnam. Really exciting, really exciting. A very international community. It's fantastic. Probably in Vietnam, it's not cold. I imagine it's very hot with lots of humidity. So yes. I'm here to answer your questions about English. So please ask me whenever you're ready. You can start asking me questions, and I'm here to answer them. Okay. So prepare the board. I don't know if there will be many students in the class today because normally at this time of year, a lot of people have holidays. So I don't know how many people will be in class today. I hope a lot. Okay, so Akshay was asking, when do we use have and when do we use has? Well, basically, it depends on the conjugation for the person. So in English, we have a system of persons. So as you can see, we have 7 persons in English. I, you, we, they, he, she, and it. They are the 7 persons, the 7 different entities we can talk about. And so for this group, we would use have, okay? But for this group here, we would use has. And it's that simple, really. So I, you, we, and they have, and he, she, and it has. Now, it is a very interesting pronoun, right? It. Because some people say that it is for animals or for objects. But actually, it really depends. We use it for things which we have no emotion. Okay? It is related to emotion. So, for example, if you have a dog and you love the dog, it's your pet, then you don't say it. You say he or she. Okay? But if it's another type of animal, maybe an animal you don't know, then you can use it, like maybe a cow or a deer. But then another interesting thing is that sometimes people use he and she for objects that they love. For example, imagine that you are an architect and you make a beautiful building. You design something really beautiful. You can say, "Isn't she a beautiful building?" So you can see we're using she for an object, which is not normal. But if you love it, if it has the characteristics of a person, you can use she or he. In the past, a lot of sailors, people in the Navy, would use she to talk about boats. So, for example, the Titanic, she was a beautiful boat. So sometimes he, she, and it is not very clear, and it depends on emotion. So if you love something, don't use it. Use he or she. But if you feel no emotion, use it. Okay. So yes. So Min was saying that in Vietnam it's raining a lot. I could imagine. I would love to go to Vietnam and try the Vietnamese fresh beer. Hopefully one day soon. So I have another question here. How do we pronounce the word frightening? Okay. So basically, the only difference between the different dialects of English, the only difference in the pronunciation of this word in the different dialects of English would be this letter here. Okay? So some dialects would emphasize this more than others. Okay? So maybe some people would say frightening, frightening. So you can hear the E, you can hear the E. But in other dialects, the E would be eliminated. Frightening. Frightening. Let me tell you a general rule in English, okay? A general rule. The general rule is that the more posh you are, the more educated, the more elite, okay, then less vowels. So, for example, the Queen of England would say frightening. She would not pronounce the E, okay? But maybe if you went to a dialect of a lower socio-economic class, lower class people, okay, they would say frightening. This is a general rule in English, okay? So, for example, this word here, okay, vegetables, the Queen of England would pronounce only the first vowel, okay? Only this vowel here. All of these vowels would disappear. She would say vegetables, vegetables. Whereas maybe somebody from a different dialect would say vegetables, okay? So it really depends. It really depends on the dialect. Okay. So, okay, let's have a look at some more questions. So, A.K. Pathak was asking, what is the difference between refuse, refute, and decline? Wow, some fantastic vocabulary there. Okay. Oops. So, basically, I'm going to say that refuse and decline are very similar. They are almost perfect synonyms. Okay. So you could refuse an offer or decline an offer. You could refuse an invitation or decline an invitation. I think they're very similar. I think it probably depends on the dialect, which part of the world you're from. But refute is different, okay? Because refute means to disagree, okay? Or to say that something is not true. So for example, imagine you say, Christian, you are from Afghanistan. And I say, no, I'm not from Afghanistan. I'm from Australia. I refute this information. Okay, so I'm saying it's not true or that I disagree. So these two similar and these two different. Okay, hopefully that helps to explain. Please tell me if you don't understand. Okay. Min asked another interesting question here, which is, what is the difference between on time and in time? Okay. So here you can see I've drawn the time from the past until the future. Okay? So when we say on time, so imagine we have a plan. I will meet you at 12 o'clock. Okay. 12 p.m. I'm going to meet you at 12 p.m. If you arrive at 12 p.m., you arrive on time. Arrive on time. Okay, so here you are, arriving at 12 o'clock, and we planned to meet at 12 o'clock. You are on time. Okay? But in time is different. In time is when we talk about this, okay? We're talking about the period of time before 12 o'clock, okay? Because 11:59 is in time. 11:58 is in time. 10 o'clock is in time. It's any period of time before the time we plan to meet. Okay? Another example. Imagine that you are writing some text for school. And the text is due on Tuesday. On Tuesday, you must deliver your text. Okay? So if you deliver the text on Tuesday, you deliver it on time. At that moment, on the Tuesday. But any time before that, on Saturday or Sunday or Monday, it is in time. It's in the period. Hopefully that helps to explain the difference between in time and on time. Please tell me if you don't understand. Okay. Zuzia, I hope my pronunciation is good. Zuzia or I don't know. She asked another interesting question. When do we use either? Good question. Okay. Either is an interesting word, okay? And it has two main uses. So the first one is we use either to introduce or. So we can say either plus or. For example, either we eat pizza or lasagna. Okay? Either we eat pizza or lasagna. So we use this to introduce the two possibilities with or. Okay? Now, some languages don't have this. Some languages you say, or we eat pizza or lasagna. Okay? You use two ors. But in English, no, you can't. Okay? You say either or. Now, this is the first meaning. Okay? The second meaning is just to use to talk about two possibilities. Okay? And it's not necessary to use or. So, for example, we will eat. No. Sorry, bad example. This one. I like either pizza. So you're saying this pizza or this pizza. Okay? From two options, this or this. Okay? I like either pizza. So you can see that here it's not necessary to use the or. Okay? And of course, don't forget that this is the affirmative form. The affirmative form. And also we have the negative form, which is neither and nor. Neither and nor. Neither and nor. So, for example, I have neither time nor money. So you can see this is the negative form of either. So the meaning is the same, but one is positive and one is negative. So we have to use the positive ones in the negative sentence and the negative ones in the positive sentence. Like in English, okay? Okay, so Bakumotov, Ivan, I think your name is Ivan. He would like to know the difference between the pronunciation of three important words. So let's write them on the board. Okay, so Iban wants to know the difference in pronunciation between these words. Okay, so the first two, peace and peace, the pronunciation is absolutely identical. They're homophones, right? The second one, yes, is different. Sorry, the third one. The third one is different. And here, I have added my word, okay, peas, because I want to show you a fourth possibility of pronunciation, okay? So, these two are identical. And what's interesting, the difference between this and this is the length of the vowel, how long the vowel is, okay? This is peace, peace, okay? But this is shorter, piss, piss. So the difference is the length of the vowels here, okay? So it's impossible, only with pronunciation, to know the difference between peace and peace. The only way to know if you're saying peace or peace is with the context of the sentence. Okay? I think it's not normal that in any sentence it could be this or this. Okay? For example, I want peace on earth. No, it's this one, peace on earth. And piss on earth? No, I don't think so. So what about this one? Peas. You know the little green balls? Maybe you like them, maybe you don't like them, I don't know. The difference is actually here at the end, the S, okay? And here we are activating the voice. So this, and this, they are unvoiced, no voice, like a snake. S, peace, peace. But this one here, we have to activate the voice. Peas, zzz. Okay, like the zombies. Zzz. Can you hear the difference? Peace, like a snake. Peace. Peas, like a bee. Bzz. Okay. Hopefully that explains the difference between the pronunciation of these words. If you want me to explain more, please tell me, and I will talk all day about this. Okay. We have a student here called Wagner from Brazil, and he would like to know about the difference in the verb break in 3 different examples. Okay. Okay, breaking news. Okay. Okay, so they are 3 really excellent examples of the use of the word break in English. So we have breaking news, Breaking Bad, the famous series, and break free, like in the song. Yes, I want to break free. I am available for concerts, weddings, parties, bar mitzvahs. Okay. So breaking news means the latest news, something which is happening right now. New information, new news, urgent, breaking news. Then we have breaking bad, which means to turn into a bad person. You're converting or changing into a bad person. Okay, and then break free. This is the root. The root of all of these expressions is the same, which is the verb break. Okay, so break. Okay, so we have to imagine in our minds that we are breaking something. Okay, so in the first one, why is it called breaking news? Because imagine that you are watching a television program. You're watching Teletubbies, or you're watching something on television. But then there is very, very important news. The television station decides to break your program, to break the film, to tell you the news. So they are not literally breaking anything, but it's a metaphor. They're breaking the program you are watching to give you the news. Break like interrupt, okay? The second one, breaking bad, is because you have to imagine that your personality is like an egg, okay? It's fragile, okay? And if something happens to your personality, if your personality has a big shock, or if your personality has a trauma, a traumatic event, then you can break bad. Your personality can break bad. Break good? I don't know. It doesn't sound as good. Breaking good. Maybe this is alliteration. No, breaking bad. And break free, well, this is very literal. So imagine that you are in prison, okay, with the handcuffs, okay. You're in prison, but you want to be free, so you break free, okay. So in the song, he's talking about breaking free, being free to express himself, do what he wants, okay. Hopefully that helps to explain break in these three sentences. Please please tell me if you would like me to explain more. Okay. Okay. Um, Dimitri, I think your name is Dimitri. I'm not sure. Wants to know the difference between wait and await. Okay. So here I've written two examples on the board. So with the verb wait, okay, and then with the verb await. So they're actually very similar. Okay. I think they are synonyms. It it means you're waiting. Okay, waiting for something, but you can see the difference is that the verb wait we use with the preposition for. Okay, wait for. But await, you can see it has no preposition. We use it directly with the object, and you can conjugate this. You could say, "I am awaiting your call." I will await your call. Okay, but I would say that this one here, await, is a lot more formal. And I wouldn't use this in a normal conversation. Okay, I would use this in a formal situation, maybe a formal email or a formal letter. Um, but in general conversation, it sounds very Shakespeare. Okay, this is definitely wait for is definitely the preferred option. Okay. Uh, Okay. I'm just looking for some more questions here. Okay. Zuzia is saying that in Poland it's very windy. I think that I don't like wind really. um, when it's cold but there's no wind, it's okay. But when it's cold and the wind is blowing into you, it's horrible. It's horrible. um, okay, so David Sebuk was asking me about the alveolar tap, about tapping. Um, okay, so this is a little bit of a complicated subject, tapping. Um, Basically, this is a type of pronunciation um, of the letter R, and also sometimes the letter T, um, and it really depends. It really depends on the dialect. Um, I think that's a very complicated discussion to talk about tapping and flapping. Um, so I'm going to have to leave that for another class. I'm really sorry. But I think maybe I will make a pronunciation class about tapping. Um, I I don't have anything else to say about that right now. Sorry, David. Um, so Biazzo was asking if I could explain the difference between which and what. Okay. So you can see that I've written on the board here that which is to use when you have limited options, okay? And what you would use when you have unlimited options. So for example, I could ask you, which do you prefer? Do you prefer this or this? Okay? Because there's only two options. But when I use what, this would be for a question like, what is your name? There's unlimited possibilities for your name. Or what is your favorite color? Unlimited possibilities. But which do you prefer? Chalk or a telephone? Ah, now it's limited. Now you use which. Okay? But it's not always the case. Sometimes people say, what do you prefer, this or this? And that's okay. Okay, that's okay. You can break the rule. Lots of people break the rule. Native English speakers love to break the rules. In fact, native English speakers break the rules deliberately, on purpose. They break the rules to show that they are different, to show that they are part of a specific social class or a specific group. You know, in America, for example, you have African American English, and African American English breaks all of the rules of English grammar about verb conjugations, about persons, because these people who use African American vernacular English, they want to show that they are part of this linguistic group, to identify themselves as part of this group. You know, the same as people from London or people from Essex, people from South Africa. They have little rules that they follow to identify themselves in a group. Okay. Simon Hooft asked an interesting question, actually. Let me write it on the board. So, you know that in English we have three types of verb, okay? We have verb with infinitive, like this. We have verb with gerund, like this. And then we have modal verbs with the bare infinitive, with the infinitive but no to, okay? Now, sometimes if you use the infinitive or the gerund, there is absolutely no difference. So, for example, I like drawing and I like to draw means exactly the same thing. Okay? Maybe a psychologist will tell you that it's a little bit different, but I think that they mean exactly the same thing. Okay? But some verbs with infinitive and some verbs with gerund, they do mean something different. Okay, so it depends on the verb. But with like drawing and like to draw, it's the same. Okay, it's exactly the same. Please tell me if you would like me to explain more about gerunds and infinitives. Also, I made quite a long video about gerunds and infinitives. So if you want a really detailed explanation, you can watch my video about gerunds and infinitives. Okay. Hello Amin, and hello Raj, and hello Aline. Hello everybody. It's good to see you in class. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. Which actually is the next question from Gragover. Wants to know the difference between why do we say Christmas but we say Jesus Christ? Well. Oops. Okay, so yeah, this word here, okay, Christmas, is a compound word. Okay, so we have Christ, and we have Mass. Okay, Christ and Mass, and the two words come together to make Christmas. And then we have the name Jesus Christ. Okay, now originally this was pronounced Christ Mass. Okay, but with time, with all of the changes in English pronunciation, eventually it changed to Christmas. Okay, and this was to follow some of the standardization of English, where if we have two consonants, then here we have a short vowel, not a long vowel. Okay, but here, because it's a name, it didn't really change. But in lots of other European languages, French and Spanish and Portuguese, they say Cristo, so it's with a short I. So yeah, that's the reason. Just the normal changes in English over time. Okay, so let's look for another question here. Okay, so yeah, a really interesting question here from Tyrex. I don't know if you're meant to be Tyrannosaurus Rex or if your name is actually Tyrex. If your name is Tyrex, that's a pretty cool name, Tyrex. Nice. Okay. So I want to smoke and build a house. Okay, so here we have a sentence with two possible endings. Okay, we could say, I want to smoke and build a house. Okay, perfect. Or, I want to smoke and to build a house. Now, in this case, both of them are correct. They're both absolutely correct. The difference is that we are using different styles, different sentence styles. Okay? In the first sentence, we are using what's called ellipsis. Ellipsis is when this verb here, okay, this verb here it's controlling two parts of the sentence, okay? I want to smoke and build a house, okay? So here, I know that to smoke and build are from the verb want. To smoke and build, okay? We are using and. This here is a conjunction. We're using the and to join the two parts of the sentence together. Smoke and build. Smoke and build now are together. They are together with this one preposition here too, okay? And it's controlled. All of the sentence is controlled by want. So I want to smoke and build. Because we have and, we don't need to use this to, okay? But it's optional. If you want to put the to, no problems. Here you are not using ellipsis. Here you are using the infinitive and the infinitive. And both options are absolutely correct, okay? This is just a question of style, a question of rhythm, okay? So hopefully that helps to answer your question. Please tell me if not, and I will explain some more. Okay. So Jaylin was asking, what is the difference between except and except for? Okay, so more examples. So I like all pizza except mushroom. Except mushroom pizza. I like all pizza except for mushroom. So what's the difference between except and except for? No difference. They are exactly the same. Again, this is just a question of style. Okay, question of style. This for you can eliminate, no problems. And this is not true. I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are a beautiful thing in the world. Don't you think? Like a mushroom risotto. Oh, delicious. Okay. So you think you get okay, so yes, Wagner has asked another question about music lyrics, about whether some words are missing from some music lyrics. The truth is that listening to music is really good to for informal vocabulary, okay? Because pop music contains all of the most modern words, all of the most fashionable words. Okay? If you want to learn the words that are in fashion now, then listen to pop music, look at the lyrics, and you will be cool, super cool. Okay? But it's also, on one hand, very bad. Okay? Because when people sing, when people make lyrics, when they write music in English, the words have to fit the music, okay? And so sometimes people break the rules of grammar so that it sounds good. And this is actually really, really common. So if you learnt English grammar, if you learnt how to speak only by listening to music, it would be really bad. Okay, you would not speak correctly. Okay, in a standard way. So great for vocabulary, fantastic for practicing your listening, but bad for grammatical structures. So a lot of music lyrics don't make any sense, and if you said as a sentence to somebody the music lyrics, they would think that you were Yoda from Star Wars, or that you were just crazy. Okay. Okay. So Silvio Santiago has asked an interesting question about the word even. Even is a fantastic little word in English. So even has no translation, really. Okay? Even is not really a word. Okay? Even is for emphasis. We're emphasizing something. I'll write an example, okay? So, for example, I hate all Italian food, even pizza. So I'm using even to emphasize. I'm saying not especially, no. It's different from especially. It's to introduce an element of surprise, maybe, of shock, of something unexpected. Okay? To emphasize that you hate all Italian food, even pizza. Or positive, you could say, I work every day, even Sunday. So you're using even to emphasize something surprising or unexpected. Okay? But does it have a translation? No. It depends on your language. Like, your name is Silvio Santiago, probably you're Spanish. So maybe even is similar to incluso. Okay? It depends. Okay? Let's have a look for another question. Okay. So A.K. Pathak was asking if Americans pronounce the T sound as a D. I know what you mean. I think I know what you mean. Okay. So this is a typical sentence. What are you doing? Okay. Now you may hear, if you listen to native people speaking, that this T sometimes is not a T. Okay, sometimes it's a D. So the sound the sound of this sentence is this. What? What are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? So here we have a D and not a T. And what is the reason for this? And this is not just American English. Okay, this is almost all dialects of English have this characteristic. And this relates back to the previous question from David about tapping. Okay, so the T sound in English, the T, is actually a difficult sound. It requires a lot of physical effort because we have to bring up the tongue, we have to block the airway, we have to produce an explosive sound, t. Okay, and it's very difficult. The easy option is to do a tap, an alveolar tap, okay, where you have your tongue and you just tap like this, your tongue on the top of your mouth. But. And this is much easier. Doing this is much easier than producing a t sound. But the difference is that the T sounds like a D. So yes, to answer your question, a lot of times when native English people are speaking, Americans, British, Australians, South Africans, Canadians, the D will be like, no, the T will sound like a D when they're speaking quickly because it's easier, physically easier to make a little tap, and that's it, okay? But if you are speaking carefully, and I recommend that you speak carefully, then you should stop and pronounce your T's well, okay? Now, I think this is a rule not just for English. I think it's a rule for life in general, okay? Is that you have to learn the rules before you break the rules, okay? Maybe a person who is an expert in riding a bicycle can ride a bicycle with no hands. Yeah, riding the bicycle, no hands, no problems. Because first, they learn to ride the bike with the hands, okay? So you start in the correct way, and then you can break the rules, okay? But if you go directly from no bicycle to bicycle with no hands, number one, you could have an accident, okay? But number two, you don't have the fundamentals, the base, the true essence of riding a bicycle with your hands, okay? So personally, and this is only my opinion, okay, I think that you should first learn the correct ways to pronounce words and to speak English. And then when you have a more advanced level, break the rules, okay? But it's good to have a good foundation, a strong foundation, okay? Now, that's my opinion. You could agree or disagree, no problems. Okay. Okay, so Aline has asked me an interesting question, which is, what exactly does it mean to stigmatize? So let's have a look in the etymology dictionary. Okay, see, I'm learning with you. Okay, because I don't know what is the root of the word stigma. Okay, I know what it means, but I don't know where did it come from. It sounds Latin to me, but I'm not sure. So let's have a look at stigma etymology. Etymology, okay. So, okay. Okay, so basically it says here that stigma comes from the Greek. Okay, so it's not from Latin, it's Greek. And it was a mark made by a pointed instrument. So it's like a mark. And this is what a stigma is. What I'm doing is I'm marking you. So, for example, imagine imagine that I'm trying to think of a good example. Imagine that you are a very, very fat person. Very, very fat. Okay? Now, unfortunately, in society, fat people are ridiculed. Fat people are, well, depends on the country, but in general, fat people are not they have lots of negative feelings about fat people. Fat people are stupid, or they're lazy, or they eat too much, okay? And these are like marks on the fat people, stigmas, marks on the fat person, okay? So you could say that being fat has a lot of stigma, a lot of negative marks, okay? And it's so the verb stigmatize means I am giving you a mark, okay? So if I say that fat people are lazy and stupid, then I am stigmatizing them. I am marking them and saying, you are this. Hopefully that helps to answer your question. I learned something new as well. Stigma is Greek, and it means mark. Cool. Very nice. Okay. So Chris Choi was asking about what exactly is Skippy the kangaroo. Okay. I think about 30 years ago, about 30 years ago, there was a television program in Australia called Skippy the kangaroo. Okay, and Skippy, and this is crazy. Okay, this sounds crazy, but Skippy could communicate with the humans in the program, with his little mouth. Okay, so for example, Skippy the kangaroo would see an accident, and then he would jump, and he would say, and, and then the people would say, Skippy, Skippy, what happened? Was there an accident? It's absolutely ridiculous, totally ridiculous. But this was a very popular television program in Australia, and so sometimes people call any kangaroo a general name for a kangaroo is Skippy. Um, you should look for this program on YouTube. I think that it would be very funny to watch an episode of this of this program. Well, Skippy, because skip is jump like this. I am skipping. Okay. Next question. Okay. Okay. So yes, we only have 2 minutes left of this live class. Only 2 minutes. Okay. I'm just looking for another question. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm just looking for something that I can answer quickly. Okay. Ethan has asked another question about the difference between two words. Okay. Oops. He's asking what is the difference between misconstrue and misunderstand. Okay. We can see that we have the mis, which means do not. So we have don't construe, which is like construct. Okay, to build, to construct something, and this one, which is you do not understand. But there is a little psychological difference, okay? If you misconstrue something, that means that I take the information, but maybe I build it in a different way. So maybe if you tell me, I don't want to eat pizza with you because I don't like pizza. I don't want to eat pizza with you because I don't like pizza. I can take this information and I can build it in different ways. I can misconstrue. I could say, he doesn't want to have pizza because he doesn't like me. Or he doesn't want to have pizza because he is on a diet. He needs to lose weight. Or he doesn't want to eat pizza because he wants to go out with other friends. I can build this information in a good way or a bad way. I misconstrue. But misunderstand is different. Misunderstand is when I make a mistake in understanding. I make a mistake, like if you say, I don't want to have pizza with you because I'm not hungry, and then I understand is, let's go and have pizza. Yay, let's have pizza. You see, it's different. Misunderstand means there was a mistake, an error. I have the incorrect information. So this is incorrect information, and this is when I interpret or build the information in the wrong way. Hopefully that explains the difference. So guys, it is now 2 o'clock. I have had a fantastic live class with you guys. I really hope that you all learnt something today. I learnt some new things today. And I'm so happy that there were so many students today. It's fantastic. Um, all of you guys watching, you are the reason that I get out of bed in the morning and come to work, okay? Because I love teaching you guys English. So thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week. This is Kangaroo English. I'm Christian, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye.